welcome back, Demetri. Welcome to Demetri'S world yet again. It's been a while. So today, more importantly, cheers. I feel better. So my wife and I went and saw Halloween Ends, and so I wanted to talk a little quickly about all the Halloween, not all, the ones that matter to me. And I sort of, the 1978 Halloween, brilliant. It set the standard for, new horrors, John Carpenter, fucking genius, brilliant film. Set the tone for many a year to come. Now, the new Halloween, which came out in 2018, I believe. Was it 2018? I write things down now. So the new one that came out in 2018 was a brilliant film. I thought it was very well done. The acting was, most of it was superb, and it was good. It was good. The only thing, of course, Halloween 2018 follows Halloween 1978, and I quite like Halloween 2, 1981. It made sense. She's been injured. Michael Myers was shot. He fell off the bed 6 times, and he fell off. I'll shoot him 6 times. I'll shoot him. Donald Pleasance. He falls off the balcony. Donald Pleasance runs down. Dr. Looney runs down, and he's gone. Laurie, she gets into the ambulance and taken to the hospital. That all made sense to me. Maybe the film wasn't as good as the first one, but the premise made sense. And they could have followed Halloween 2018. Could have followed the point where Michael Myers is blown up in the clinic. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Jeez. And it could follow on from there, but it didn't. He could have got caught there by the police, blown up. It comes out a little bit crispy, guns pointing at him, arrested. Now, Halloween Kills I thought it was overall a good film. It had a few issues, a few flaws in it. I'm sure some of you will agree with the hospital scene where they're all chasing this poor mental patient who ends up falling off and dying anyway. But just the whole, tribal following, a bit like if you ever seen Creature from the Pit, you got all the insects, following, a bit like that, hive mind, that kind of stuff. But the hospital scene was just overdone. It was silly, it was ridiculous, and it was just stupid. I love the beginning of Halloween Kills. You got Donald Pleasance, Dr. Looney there. It's just fantastic. Loved it. They got me excited from the very beginning. It went a little downhill in places after that. The other thing I didn't like about Halloween Kills was a bit where they've all surrounded Michael Myers. They've tricked him into coming to a place, and they all managed to knock him to the ground quite easily, I might add. Shoot him in the chest. He turns around, she stabs him in the back, and so that was all. And then he gets out and massacres everybody, and you think, well, okay, that was a bit of an easy follow-up. Why didn't they shoot him in the head, for example? But putting that aside, I enjoyed Halloween Kills. It wasn't as good as the first one, but it was okay. A few flaws, a couple of the actors were a bit ropey. Now, Halloween Ends. Again, I would call it a good film, but I wouldn't call it a Michael Myers film. I wouldn't call it a Halloween Michael Myers film. I would call it a Halloween film of a different kind entirely. Suddenly he's disappeared. What was it, for 4 years? And he's in a sewer, and then it all becomes. The film is really about 2 teenagers rebelling. Corey Cunningham, wasn't it? He's got a kind of a a bit of a dictatorial mother or controlled mother, and a weak father who buys him a motorbike. He's a bit of an oddity because of that. And then suddenly he discovers Michael Myers in this sewage system and takes him on, and then he starts, copying Michael Myers, and it was just weak. It was, quite honestly, it was weak and stupid. If it was just about Corey Cunningham and the granddaughter Alison, isn't it? If it was just about those two rebelling a little bit, and because she's obviously lost her father, had a bit of a strange, not normal background. If it just had been about those two as a kind of sub story, then Michael Myers going around doing his usual stuff. I mean, this guy, Michael Myers, he said drink cider. It's very good for you. No, he didn't say that. He might have said that. He just didn't record the bit where he said that. So I think he killed 20. The head count in Halloween Kills was about 27 people. And it was also stated, by Laurie, Jamie Lee Curtis, lovely Jamie Lee Curtis. Still, love that woman. She basically said every time he kills somebody, he becomes stronger. Evil becomes more powerful, which makes sense. Which would make sense why he becomes more powerful all the time, and despite the bodies might be getting older, he's still evil. Is still in control. So evil could keep him younger. It's etc. etc. So there we go. Halloween ends, and he's almost like not there. I don't get it. I really don't. As I said, I get the story about two teenagers rebelling, and that's fine. Then we should have Michael Myers doing his thing, and how would you kill him? Maybe you can't kill him, and that was maybe he gets blown up. Maybe somebody puts a rocket in a rocket launcher, or and he gets blown to the smithereens. But I don't know. Laurie Strode at the end of it, he was killed quite easily. So if you consider all the people he's killed, and easily, and the strength this guy has, and Laurie, his sister, kills him quite easily in the end. Disappointing. See, I would, I'm not quite sure how I would have ended it, but not like that. And then, of course, not only is he more or less kill him, then they take him on this kind of funeral procession with all the town following, and he goes through a mangle grind. I mean, that's just weak, badly written. Director David Gordon Green, you probably won't ever put me in one of your films. Okay, the direction wasn't bad actually, but as a director, you should recognise when things are weak, and that ending was weak. It was silly with the whole village or town. That's just really naff. And I would have killed this guy in maybe the body with some kind of lethal injection, or as I said, or a kind of a bomb, and then you would have seen the kind of the evil come out of him, in some kind of black, brown, or glowy mist that goes into somebody else, and it either continues or it dissipates into the ground or atmosphere, or a bit like dear me, from Harry Potter when he dies and he's damn, don't drink cider, it's very bad for you. So I just wanted to say Halloween Ends is an extremely disappointing end to the franchise. I know it had to end, but that was bad. I've got all their Halloween films there, and some are weak, some are awful. I, for example, loved Halloween 3, which has nothing to do with Michael Myers, but I liked it. It's a good film, and if you don't like it, feck off. Use your imagination. I'm not judgmental at all, am I? Some of them are good. Most of the follow-ups were bad or weak, but and the one with the little girl in it, can't remember her name now. Damn, it wasn't bad. John Carpenter should have had more of a say in it, or if he did, Big Trouble in Little China. Please make that, remake it, please. Or even Escape from New York with a different actor, with Kurt Russell playing security or head of security or something like that. I mean, Carpenter, your films are generally brilliant. Ghost of Mars was awful, but this is all about Halloween. So I end this by saying Halloween Ends is on its own not a bad film. As a Halloween Michael Myers film, absolute tistos. Thank you for listening.
imagine that death is simply a matter of dying. You would be mistaken.
Mom?